Hi, everybody. Welcome back for another one of your questions about work. For those of you who are joining for the first time, I'm Roy Bahat, startup investor in the future of work. And every so often now, we take one of your questions about how to work, and either I and a friend or a guest try to give you some practical tips on it. And one change since last time we posted is that we've now compiled a compendium of those tips, edited by anybody in the community. You can go in and make edits on a range of different topics we've talked about, everything from how to stay happy at work to career changes, hiring, how to manage a tricky boss, organizing your coworkers, social media, and your own reputation, blah, blah, blah. And you can find that on this website. This is notadvice.work, not .work.com, just .work. And now we'll take the question of the day. The question of today, which came up because folks are struggling to deal with difficult situations with a partner, which is how can we keep partners happy, whether it's a customer or a business partner, or maybe it's a supplier, when we fail to meet their expectations. And I think the first question is to diagnose the reason why you failed to meet their expectations. Is it because their expectations are a place that you will never meet? Is it because of something that's a momentary glitch? And then once you've got a diagnosis, or maybe it's something that's a long-term problem. I mean, right now in the holiday season, a lot of companies are dealing with failing to meet customer expectations. That thing, I just ordered holiday cards. They may not arrive on time, that kind of thing. They probably will. Thank you, paper culture. So the first step is a diagnosis. And then once you've got a diagnosis, the question is, how do you invest an amount of effort in solving the problem that's proportional to how big the problem is? So if all your partners are unhappy because none of the products are getting delivered on time, well, you may have a house on fire problem, and you may need to go and call stop on everything going on in the business. If one of your customers is unhappy because they thought you promised something by Thursday, but really your email said next Tuesday and they misremembered it, then it might just be a matter of one conversation explaining it to them. And the thing I think about is going through an escalation of solutions, starting with the ones that are the least time consuming. Simple email, phone conversation, change to the product. Eventually you may have to fire the customer. That's one solution as well. Sometimes customers are so difficult that you can never serve them successfully, in which case maybe you don't want to. And principles that go across everything in that pattern of escalation. One is clarity. Ducking and not communicating is a way to have a miserable experience with a partner. Sometimes you think you're communicating with the partner because you're communicating with one of their coworkers in the same organization. It's not. If a person who has power over you, a partner, a supplier, is unhappy, it doesn't matter if you tick the box of talking to their coworker. It's still on you. You can tell them, hey, I spoke to John in accounting already about this, as long as you don't do it from a place of resentment, and talk to them directly. So the first thing is keep the channel open. The second is own your own mistakes, whether it's yours personally or yours as an organization. The third thing is empathize and try to understand. There's a line that a mentor of mine told me, curious before furious. Try to understand where they're coming from. And then only once you've done all that, reflected it back to them. Hey, I hear you saying that you're upset because, Then you can move into proposing some solutions. What if we, hey, do you have any ideas for how we can solve it? What do you want me to do? And that's the pattern of escalation every time. Specifics matter in some ways more than the generalities, but that should serve in many situations. And so that's today's This Is Not Advice. For those of you watching for the first time, the reason we say it's not advice, I'm not trying to tell you how you should live in any one situation. Advice is usually the giver trying to justify their own choices, or worse, get others to live vicariously through you. I'm just offering a way of thinking about it, and it's up to you to chart your own path. Please feel free to ask us any other questions wherever you see this, on Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. And to be continued. Thanks, everyone.